But
Okay.
my name is Sharice Manian. I'm interviewing Ms. Critchfield on how Down syndrome kids are invisible in our society. Okay, so Ms. Critchfield, to start off the questioning, I want to know, can you define or tell us what Down syndrome or autism is?
Oh, those are two very different things.
Yeah, can we tell us
Down syndrome it's got visible signs, like it's called the epicanthal fold in the eyelid. They generally have stubby fingers, and it's thought that their tongues are bigger, but they aren't. But some kids' tongues protrude. With autism, it's as with Down syndrome, it's on a spectrum. So with Down syndrome, you might be able to read, write, and walk and talk, and keep your own schedule. But you also have students who can't read or write, or they're more disabled. With autism, they typically look like everybody else, except they have poor social skills. So they don't know how to read facial cues. If you roll your eyes and put your hand on the hip, that means nothing to someone with autism. So it's about the social communication with autism, or lack thereof. They may be brilliant, like the movie Temple Grandin. Have you seen the movie Temple Grandin? She's amazing. She created humane ways to slaughter animals, but she is poor at social skills. She fails to say good morning, how are you? Just little pleasantries that we all do. So anyway, those are very different disabilities.
Okay, thank you. So why do you think many people, especially in school, since you're a teacher at school, ignore them?
Because they don't respond like everybody else. Just like the kids with autism tend to avoid contact. Like I read something that says that they treat people like objects. So you're only there if I need you. It's not so much that, but they would like to have social interactions, they just don't know how. And I think it works the opposite for students without disabilities, or at least it did for me when I was in high school. I was very curious about them, but I didn't know how to approach them. I mean, I didn't know, do you just walk up and say hi? Do you need to have a reason? They just don't know how to approach them. And when I have known kids to be very frightened of kids with autism. I don't know why, but I've seen them just like splatter themselves up against the locker to get away, to avoid kids that are more obviously disabled. They're scary. They don't know how to interact or how they interact, and they don't have enough occasion to have conversation. In Utah, I had a class that was for peer tutors, average intelligence kids who came into my classroom and helped me. And then those students would be kind of like, for lack of a better word, a plant. So if they saw someone teasing them, they step in to defend the kids. But here we don't have a program like that, so it's just happenstance that the kids have someone who befriends them in one of the classes, which are just usually art and PE. So, and in those classes you're supposed to be doing your assignment, not chit-chatting. So they don't have occasion to meet them, and unless their family introduces them or someone they know introduces them, there's just no occasion to meet kids with disabilities.
So I read on an article that about some people believe like they aren't human, or they were a sin to a family. What would be your response to that comment?
I've heard that repeatedly. I've had people say that, well, I was from Utah, and they told me that these kids get a free ride into heaven because they were injured in the battle to throw Satan from heaven for paradise. And I'm like, I had never heard that before. And a lot of families, it's really hard for families because they still have that belief that they're being punished. They did something wrong and they're being punished to have a child with disability. So that's the stigma that comes with having someone with disabilities. And then people, well, we throw that word retard around pretty loosely.
Yeah.
And it's a technical, your learning is retarded, or it's stifled, for lack of a better word. And I think kids, in high school, it's so much about the social. Sure, it's getting an education, but it's a lot about the social. So I think they're worried about the stigma of having a friend who has limitations. And one of the things that I noticed when I did my peer tutoring program is that once I get kids in here, then they find out, oh wow, he likes the same things I like. He likes to swim, he likes to play soccer, she likes the same Justin Bieber or whatever his name is, you know. They have a lot of the same likes. And I have one little girl who, she's befriended someone in ROTC. And every day when the bell rings, she runs to the door to make sure she can say hi.
Oh.
And the other girl doesn't really know she exists except that she is there every day to say hi. So I think people don't realize how they try to socialize, but they really struggle at how to do that. So this girl doesn't know that she's just like going out of her way to be right there when the girl walks by so she can say hi. The girl says hi back and she's just like, oh, she said hi, you know. So they really want to have social interactions, it's just really difficult.
So you believe, like, as society, if we were, like, to be able to interact with him, like, if we took our time out to understand him, there would be less invisible?
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I think if people realize that, and I don't think I'm wrong on this, I'm quoting someone else, and I can't think of who it was, I heard it at a conference or something, we will all be disabled in our lifetime. If you think about it like that, you're going to have a broken leg, or a broken arm, or carpal tunnel surgery where your hands are, you're going to be temporarily disabled, if not permanently, because the older we get, you know, you lose your hearing, you might fall and break a hip, you know, elderly people, they need someone to care for them. Just like kids with limitations need someone to supervise them. They can't ride the cat bus alone, they can't go grocery shopping alone, they can't go with their peers and have hot dogs and Coke or whatever it is you guys, you know, I guess teenagers still do the same. Can't go to the movies unless the parent feels really comfortable with the person they're going with. It's a little frightening to trust. It's a little frightening to trust that your child who is pretty vulnerable, to trust them into someone else's hands. So typically, a lot of the kids don't have any outside recreation unless it's with family, which is too bad, but that happens. And I understand. So, did I answer your question?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.